Hey everyone, I'm Cecil Laird.
Jaime Fuego here.
And this is your horror show news with
Booze.
Booze! Back again this Friday, you guys, and might be another one of those lighter news weeks, but Fuego, why don't you let them know what we got first off?
So first and foremost, it was just announced as of today's filming, so we're seeing you on St. Patrick's Day. Happy Day of Irishness, which is my ethnicity. But Fox announced...
I have some Irish too, buddy.
Do you have some? Cute.
I do. Irish, Scotch, and German.
There you go. Well, interesting assortment there. And interesting news today, released by Fox, that they are remaking The Fly again. Now, many people don't know that the 86 film that is considered so iconic, it's up there with The Thing and, others for some of the best practical we've ever seen put to screen.
Wait, you mean The Thing, The Blob, The Fly?
Yeah, all those 80s remakes that are so
Three
amazing.
amazing 80s remakes that people don't know are remakes.
Exactly. They were all remakes of 50s movies, actually. And so 58 was when the original Fly came out. 86 was when Cronenberg did all that crazy stuff to Mr. Jeff Goldblum. And now, apparently, Fox wants to reboot the property again. So I guess every 30 years or so, it's totally okay. There's this guy I'm not familiar with, J.D. Dillard, I believe. He directed a film called Slight that's coming from Blumhouse, or maybe just came or something. Who the hell knows? So I have no gauge for his talent, but are you excited? Do you think it would be cool to see this property remade again?
I think it would be. I think here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that the executives, in their infinite wisdom, will decide that The Fly was great because of the practical Cronenberg effects.
Yeah, because the original was more like mystery kind of.
Well, yeah, but I think they'd be dumb to try and CG it up this time.
Oh,
I think they might make a bigger Fly. And the CG version of The Fly might fly on a wall for a second or something like that, but I don't think, if they're smart, they won't lean heavily on that, and they'll keep it to the practical effects, because that's what disturbed everyone about those movies.
Yeah, God, and even the sequel to The Fly,
the one that great. I liked the sequel a lot.
Redhead dude, why can't I think of his name? Was it Eric Stoltz?
Eric Stoltz, yeah.
Yeah, in the sequel, yeah.
And I honestly, the sequel made me cry at the end, for sure.
I think the sequel might have even though Cronenberg didn't direct it, it might have even been more gruesome with some of the practical.
It was
nasty,
and it was great.
Man.
It was more of a typical slasher movie, because The Fly was going around killing the military that were trying to hunt him down.
Yeah, and Stoltz was his son? Goldblum's son, maybe?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Brundle's son.
But, I mean, I'm really apprehensive now with you mentioning the whole CGI thing, because I hadn't even taken that into consideration. I was just like, oh yeah, more Fly, let's do it. But, yes, cautious optimism, I guess, and, hey, never going to forget the 86 awesomeness of Cronenberg, so let's get to the next story then.
Which is all about the fact that we are getting yet another version of the king of all monsters, Godzilla, in the form of an anime series coming to Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix and their ever-widening desire to spread their wings and just... Hey, you're not welcome anywhere else? Come on over here. You're not welcome anywhere else? Come on over here. You want to develop something? Come on over here.
Yeah, why not?
You want to be an original program? Come on over here. It's crazy. And not only that, it's really interesting. There's something else that we didn't touch on, actually, that was news last week. And that's the fact that, because again, it's not Toho involved in this, I don't believe.
Toho is
in this one, I'm saying, but in this other thing I'm going to bring up, the fact that the people behind the Attack on Titan series on Netflix are going to be releasing a recap animation movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. Where they're cutting it down into one
full-length feature,
movie,
right? That people can watch going into the second season of the Netflix show.
A little bit.
So my point is that Netflix is making some very interesting moves, especially in the anime marketplace. So I'm extremely excited to see what a Godzilla anime could do, because they could really, there's no reason to shy away from showing Godzilla fighting things in an animation.
Yeah. Who would actually do something like that in a movie? Not show the monster. It's really weird. Yeah, where would an idea like that come from?
Excuse me.
And yet, I enjoyed that movie. It wasn't fantastic or anything. I'm glad that I rewatched it before we went and saw Kong, though, because Kong Skull Island, you can see our review here on the channel.
Silly fun.
I had a lot of fun with it. Big dumb fun. I think that's the best way we can describe it. So, yeah, Godzilla animated, gearing up for the second Godzilla from Legendary, and then they're going to go toe-to-toe Kong Godzilla at some point. But hey, Netflix, killing it still. So our third story, this is one that I know is going to excite you, and sadly you guys can give me some shit here on the comments below, because I still haven't seen this. But so Behind the Mask is finally getting its He described it as a spree make. The writer-director, he was hoping for the longest time to turn this into a film, and unfortunately he just couldn't find the funding, so now he has decided to do it as a comic book. And they just announced that this weekend at SXSW, where they were doing a 10-year anniversary for the film. So they screened it, they did a Q&A with the cast and the director and stuff, and that's when he made the announcement that it's now coming in comic form, unfortunately. So it's going to have some prequel elements, some sequel elements, and be like a re-bequel of sorts as well.
That's a bummer.
That stinks, right?
Big bummer, dude. You really got to see that movie. It's phenomenal, and it's the epitome of, you know, what good found footage can be, especially when it's mixed with traditional filmmaking.
And it's funny too, right?
Oh yeah, it's tremendously funny.
Yeah, I love dark comedy horror, man. That shizzle
so
is great.
Oh, that's such a bummer to hear. Like, it's nice that the story is going to make it to our hands somehow.
Yeah, he wrote the script years ago from what the report was saying.
I am much less excited to see it in comic form than I would be in movie form, though. That is a big bummer.
That does stink. Well, the one thing that I did see somebody else tweet out is that it's doing an Indiegogo campaign for, like, the comic currently, and they're saying maybe if you can get enough interest with the Indiegogo, who knows if they couldn't adapt this into a film eventually, but it's at least going to hit in comic form first, so...
Bummer.
Yeah,
bummer.
Sorry, man.
All right, well, the next story is the fact that we got our very first photo from the set of Jurassic World's sequel. We don't know if it's actually going to be called Jurassic World 2 or Jurassic World or the Lost Jurassic World. You know, like,
I'd see that.
I don't know exactly what's going to happen there, but it is still scheduled to come out June 22nd. 2018, and directed by J.A. Bayona, who actually just did a Monster Calls, which was the movie that I absolutely have ever cried the most at in any film.
Yeah, both of our eyes were wet during that movie, man. That was
3 different times
brutal
in that movie.
It was so good.
It was a trial of the spirit, that movie, but he even said himself that he wanted to go on to more lighter fare with the next Jurassic World movie.
Yeah, popcorn fun, you know.
So did you actually see the picture? Because I did not yet.
I did, yeah. The picture's cool. It's got this girl, and you guys can see it right below here currently. She's in what looks to be like a museum of, like, dinosaur skeletons and stuff. Yeah, there it is. It's right there. Yeah. But, so she's in this beautiful, like, office of sorts that's surrounded with dino skeletons. And so...
That does look pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't it, though? Yeah. Yeah, we have no idea who this girl is. She's presumably a new character in the movie. We do know, however, that Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt are both returning for this. So, I mean, Jurassic World was fun. I mean, I think you and I both gave it high marks on Infuegotainment.
It was absolutely fun. It was a return to form.
It was
because it was very much like... It's funny, it was very much like The Force Awakens.
It was.
Because it followed the beats of the original movie, but still was tremendously successful.
Yeah, it was fun, man.
It was enjoyable to watch. It was exactly what I wanted it to be, a big popcorn movie with a big-ass dinosaur battle at the end, where one of my big bad favorites from the dinosaur world that is never touched on.
Yeah. He was badass.
The Mosasaurus, dude. Those things... are freaking amazing. And if that was...
Spoilers, he came to the rescue.
I don't know if that was technically a Mosasaurus or a Leopleurodon, but I believe it was just a Mosasaurus, and a Leopleurodon is even bigger.
You're getting all Steve Alton on me over here, man.
Yeah, because the Leopleurodon has a longer neck, so I'm pretty sure that was just a Mosasaur.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was tremendously fun, and I'm excited, especially after seeing this, that we're already getting some results from the filming of the movie. That's what this says to me.
Indeed. Although I was kind of surprised that Kong Skull Island had a higher body count of people than Jurassic World did. I felt like there was more, like, smushing people.
There was much more cannon fodder, yeah.
Yes,
well,
exactly.
But that was... I feel like it was necessary to make... Because it wasn't really Kong's doing all of it. Just a bunch of soldiers at the beginning.
Dude, the scene with the spider, though, that was the Cannibal Holocaust homage, was dope. Like, right through the guy's throat.
All the way down his body, pretty much.
Cool.
Yeah, that was aggressive. And it almost felt like an accident. Like,
the thing's just trying to walk around, this big old spider.
And it got chopped down to size. But that was a fun movie, for sure.
Yeah, it was good, and we keep coming back to it. But let's come to the next story here, guys, which is actually that the second season of Preacher, we knew it was coming, but now we have a confirmed actual release and when everything is going to start. It was on a Sunday before, and now I guess they're shifting it to Mondays now, which is a little weird. But Monday, January 19th is when we're actually hopefully going to get an adaptation of the Preacher comic book instead of the weird prequelness that we got. I had very mixed feelings about this. You can actually check out our regular and spoiler review of Preacher that's here on the channel if you want to. Maybe we'll put a link at the end to that. But I'm actually much more excited for the second season of Preacher than I was going into it, man. Good, bad, what's your thoughts?
I'll watch it eventually.
I think I need to take a drink to that.
Yeah, I'll watch it eventually, but it was a rough first season.
Really
and
rough.
They got rid of Arseface already, but, I mean, he can come back, but that's already like a different route than was in the comics. And supposedly the first season was a prequel to the comics, but that doesn't make sense as far as Arseface and his dad goes and stuff like that. Like that, those plot lines are done already, and the Meat Man is done already.
Yeah,
like so,
he didn't pop up till book 6 or 7.
Yeah,
if I remember
so
correctly,
I don't know exactly what's gonna happen now. Like they cherry picked some big things from later in the series,
thanks
and
Seth Rogen.
ran them out in the prequel. And it didn't work for me, and now it's going to be a mishmash and hodgepodge, and I'm not super excited about it. Now, I'm sure they're going to focus on Hair Star for the entirety of the series.
Yeah, I did enjoy the guy who played Cass and the guy who, was the preacher, Mr. Custard, but the Tulip actress, Ruth Negga,
and she is in everything
like her.
now.
She was just she had got an Academy Award. The announcement, well, she didn't win, unfortunately, but
she is out there now.
She's blowing up,
crazy, and I'd be happy if she moved away from this series.
Amen to that. But you guys can also start streaming that season on April 5th on Hulu. So, hey, watch it, be your own judge, and let us know what you think in the comments below. But
the next story, yes, the next story is all about a series that is trying to make yet another comeback this year.
Yeah,
in the
they're
form
going for it,
of
man.
Alien Covenant, which the most recent trailer, which we did a reaction to, has a lot of people really excited about this movie because it looks a lot more close to Aliens than it did Alien, despite the fact that Ridley Scott is still at the helm. But it's exciting, and we're getting some more Alien stuff this year in the form of Aliens Bug Hunt, which is a short story anthology comic book.
It's going to be a novel, actually.
Oh, it's a novel. Okay, cool. That's what I was unclear on.
Have 18 different short stories, and they're all going to focus upon colonial marines, which is what's really dope. And every story is going to take place between...
I still need to finish that colonial marine story in the comics.
Yeah, the relaunch one. And then there was also... What was the comic with the girl that takes place between... or it's
Defiance,
just Defiance
is going right now, yeah.
Yeah, that's still an ongoing, so... Between the film, this short story collection, and more comics.
Well, and they did Aliens and Predator and Judge Dredd. That just finished a little while ago.
I actually pre-ordered on Amazon the collection of it.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. So, but Bug Hunt is cool because of the fact that all 18 of these stories, not only focusing upon colonial marines, but they're all going to take place around the 4 films, the original 4 films. So,
that's good. Wait, including Resurrection?
Including Resurrection, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, they said all these stories are going to just be around those time periods. So
interesting.
So yeah, it's going to be an interesting smorgasbord of crazy, chest-bursting goodness. And hey, never go wrong with more Aliens, in my opinion. I adore the franchise. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, man. So we are tailing the last of our stories here. Stephen and Owen King. I have to bring up King as Cause Wheel every single week, guys. But he just finally made his announcement that on your birthday, September 26th, and my little brother's birthday, what up, Johnny C? He is releasing his newest book called Sleeping Beauties, his collaboration with his youngest son. He's worked with Joe Hill before. I touched upon this briefly last week on Hail to Stephen King, but there's some more details coming out about the fact that it's taking place at a women's prison, and it's going to be about how women start going to sleep, and once they get into their REM, they basically go into a coma. And so women are disappearing from the world, and it's all men. That sounds disastrous, right? We'll just all start killing each other.
Like a reverse Y the Last Man a little bit.
Exactly right. Yeah. So
but they're all asleep. They're not dead.
They're in like a comatose type state, almost like in the Sleeping Beauty novel.
So, but they can be woken up by the end of the story, perhaps.
Presumably, they're trying to find a way to awaken these women, but. Yeah, so it's pretty much all the women are sleeping forever, and it's all the men.
My caveman brain wanted me to make a joke, but I decided to stay away from the Kevin Smith type.
No.
Joke.
Yeah, but this is going to be a monstrous book. It's almost 800 pages, so yeah, I was like, what is King going to be putting out this year? Well, now you have the announcement. Besides the Castle Rock novella, then we're going to have this about 5-6 months later, something like that. So kind of cool.
Yeah, I would say so. I am not, again, as much of a King fan as you, but I will eagerly await the results of whether this is good or not. I just got done hearing about how awesome Revival was from you.
Revival's badass, man.
So,
I highly recommend Revival, and I'm about to start the Bill Hodges trilogy, and then I'll be all caught up. I'll have read everything Stevie K, so it's been a hell of a journey, man, I must say. Yeah.
Now, the last thing we needed to mention was just sort of a silly, quick story. This one. It's funny. I don't know exactly the origins. Fuego can perhaps fill us in, but apparently there was a sequel in the works for the Leprechaun franchise where it was supposed to set up a possible nemesis of sorts that was a leprechaun that was also a vampire.
VAMPIRECHAUN or something. Some craziness like that. Yeah. The news broke this week because with Patrick's Day and everything, they're like, let's dig up a, Warwick Davis story.
Yeah, and honestly, after Lep in the Hood 1 and 2.
He went to space, he went and smoked weed in the hood, I mean,
twice.
He did pretty much everything.
He did that a lot. So I would have been very interested to see VAMPIRECHAUN, like Leprechaun versus VAMPIRECHAUN is probably what it would have been.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious. But, it didn't end up happening, probably because the idea was just that silly, guys.
C'est la vie. So that's going to do it for our St. Patty's Day edition of the Horror Show News with booze, naturally a perfect fit on St. Patty's Day.
And yet I'm not drinking an Irish beer. I'm a terrible Irishman right here.
But thank you guys very much for watching. Let us know in the comments down below which of the stories you're most excited about. And while you're down there, click the link in the description box to our TeePublic site. You can get our Coexist shirt.
Yeah, you can.
You can get a shirt with our Horror Show logo, or you can get a new shirt with Horrific Harry himself on it, and you can represent the Horror Show mascot. We greatly appreciate it. If you guys do so, you'll be supporting the show.
Yeah, shout out to Spicer for making this crazy guy.
Absolutely. The toy maker of Germ Spider Designs is amazing, and we have a lot of new viewers that haven't heard us say that yet.
We're not supposed to mention his name.
It's okay. But anyway, it is an amazing creation, and you can now sport him on your chest. So thanks again for watching. Until next Friday, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, I've been an Irishman named Jaime and Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.